Hello everybody, my name's Steve, I'm the British Railroader and welcome to my model railroad room. Just for a little video about some of the bits that I got for Christmas that are model railroad related. Okay, so it's that time of year where people like to give us presents, and when you like trains of any description, people tend to get you railway related stuff. Some of it's good, some of it's not so good. But I was quite lucky this year in the fact that my friends and family got me some really nice bits, and there were some things that I wanted that I managed to get. So I'm just going to run you through them just for fun because it's Christmas. So the first thing is socks. All men my age get socks, and I was very lucky in the fact that the wonderful Mrs. British Railroader got me a pair of these. And these are socks with loads of American Railroad logos over them. They're really, really nice. I'm really pleased with them. And another friend of mine got me a pair of British Rail Intercity style socks. So I'm going to be well shod for the next year when I go to model railway shows with new socks. Books are always great, and I got 3 railway related books. The first one is from the same friend who got me the socks, got me this novel, A Christmas Railway Mystery by Edward Marston. I believe Edward Marston writes a number of, I think they're called the Railway Detective books. I've never read them, so it'll be interesting. I will probably read this on a beach somewhere, which is will be fun. And then Mrs. British Railroader got me 2 great books. One of them, this one is called The Gravy Train, which is about the Long Island Railroad, and I think it's somebody critiquing how it's managed. But I've started reading the first few pages, and it does look quite interesting. So that'll be an interesting one to read. And then the next one is one of Lance Mindheim's books. As you know, I'm a very big fan of Lance. And this is 8 realistic track plans for a spare room. Now, obviously, I don't have a spare room, and but what I find is with his track plan books is I sometimes take elements from some of his plans and use them on layout. Certainly, with Brooklyn Park, I took elements from one of the track plans from one of his other books that I've got. So I think by getting this book, I think there's only one other Lance Mindheim modelling related book that I don't have. So I will keep an eye out for that. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you is probably the thing that is my favourite present that I got this year. So Mrs. British Railroader kind of asked me what I wanted, and I have a wish list with one of our big model railway retailers over here who gets a lot of pre-owned stuff in, and they had this. So this is an Atlas Masterline GP40, and as you can see, it's in the Missouri, Kansas, and Texas colours. Now, you may be wondering why I wanted this particular loco, because I model New York and not Missouri, Kansas, or Texas. But when I first got into railway modelling and got my first copy of Continental Modeler, which features American railroads over here, there was a layout based around the MKT, and I kind of fell in love with this paint scheme. So one of these came up, it was in basically unused condition. And what I've done with it already is that I've added all of the details, all of the front and rear handrails needed adding, the cab sunshades. I've swapped out the couplers for KDs like I do. I've looked up prototype photos of this particular loco, and it didn't have a snowplow at the front. It just had a flat pilot. So I've replicated that, and I've made the rear one look correct. Now, the only things I need to do with this is I do need to fit it with DCC sound, which will be a little bit of a challenge because there's a lot of weight in there, but there are ways around that. And I need to fit some kind of flashing beacon to the top, and I have some bits to do that. So when I do, I will make a video so you can see how I fit it and how I make it work and flash. It's a lovely loco, runs well. It was DCC ready. One of the older Atlas DCC decoders. So what you would do is, instead of it just being dual mode, there's a jumper plate in there. So if you fix the jumper plate in one position, it's DC. In another position, it's DCC. So when I got it, it was DC. So I had to just take the body shell off and move the jumper plate. But that works absolutely perfectly. And one of the good things is whilst this is from, you know, this is a pretty generic Atlas GP40. It has all the correct spotting features for an NKT one from the late 70s, early 80s. So it looks right. And this will look really, really nice. Just, you know, in a yard, switching. As you can see, I've put a little conductor on the ants, one of the Pricer ones. Yeah, a little bit of detailing work to do on this, but it's going to turn out really, really nicely. Okay, so that's all I got for Christmas from a railway-related perspective. I've got lots of other bits and pieces, but I'm sure none of you want to see those here. One of the things that I did want to say is there was a big announcement from Rapido over Christmas. Rapido are bringing out the M3s as used on the Long Island Railroad and Metro North. This is a really big thing for someone like me. I love commuter railways, and as you know, I model Long Island. I have some Long Island Railroad engines already. So yeah, I have pre-ordered one of the 2-car M3 sets in the current Long Island Railroad livery. What I've decided to do is I've decided to go for the DCC ready / silent one, because there is a significant price difference. They are quite expensive items. I've pre-ordered mine through Train World in Brooklyn, but I figured by getting the DCC silent one, I can, or the DC silent one, sorry, keep saying that wrong, I can add a decoder of my choice and get the sounds. And I know that Soundtracks do an electric sound profile, and listening to the videos, it's pretty much the same as what I can hear on the videos for the M3. So that's what I'm going to do. But that's not going to be coming along for a good year or so. But when it does, a video will happen all about it. Okay, that's it for this video. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I now have over 1,300 subscribers. Thank you very much to all of you. It is much appreciated. If you do subscribe and the little bell comes up, click it and press all, and you'll be notified of all my videos. If you have any comments or questions, either post them below or you can send them to me on this email address just here. But that's it for me. My name's Steve, I'm the British Railroader, and I'm saying goodbye from my model railroad room. Bye-bye.